host, Jamal Radio Raheem. And for those who are new to this, wrap it up with this show where I talk about music topics from top 10 lists to album reviews to who's the greatest of all time. All that, long as it's music related, I'm going to talk about it. Now, today's episode, I'm doing my top 25 rap albums. Just rap albums, my favorite 25 rap albums. I think I need to say my favorite because some people will be like, you said top. No, my favorite 25 rap albums. I'm going to start off by saying Biggie is not on my list. I know a lot of people will be upset by that, but Biggie is not on my list. I'm also going to do top 25 R&B and mixtapes on future episodes, but we're doing top 25 rap albums, my favorite. First album is Tribe Called Quest, Low End Theory. This is my favorite hip-hop album of all time. If you've watched any of the episodes, you know exactly why, but I'm going to say it again for people who haven't watched this. This album is really what got me into really, really loving music. I really started paying attention to samples. I really started paying attention to literally everything that comes with music. So this album will always be on my list of anything, top whatever. I love this album. Q-Tip, Fife, lyrically great album. The beats are dope as hell. Q-Tip be in his bag as a producer. He don't get his credit as a producer. I would say that to the day that I die. But this is a dope-ass album. And it's that first album on my list. Next album, we got The Chronic by Dr. Dre. I like The Chronic more than I like 2001. And definitely more than I like Compton. This album right here is like Snoop's all over this. This is Death Row before Pac got there. And definitely got the G-Funk sound. You definitely got, this is before Doggy Style, I think. Dr. Dre was in his bag. Definitely in his bag on the production side. One of the greatest producers ever. The West Coast is definitely represented on here. I'm always down for anything West Coast. But besides my bias towards the West Coast, this album is fucking great. And nobody can really debate it on that. My favorite song on there is Let Me Ride. If you've never heard The Chronic, which I'm sure everybody has really heard The Chronic, listen to that song. Next album on my list is J Dilla's Donuts. Now, I debated putting Donuts on here. I debated putting it on here. Donuts is a good album, but it's an instrumental album. So I debated, but I was like, you know what? This is your list. You do what you want. So Donuts is on my list. I love instrumentals. I love great producers. I think producers nowadays are almost more important than the MC, or if not just as important. Actually, they are. They are just as important as the MC. If you have a terrible beat, it don't matter how dope your MC is. This is just good listen, easy listen. Some songs are like a minute and 10 seconds. Some are 55. Like, it's short, but it's a dope ass album. Dilla is one of the greatest producers. R.I.P. to the GOAT. I love this album. I love it. So, speaking of dope producers, we gotta go with number 4, and that's Kanye West, and that's Late Registration. To me, this is Kanye at his best. This is him in his bag, his biggity bag, you know what I'm saying? This is the best production of any of his albums, in my opinion, and this is his best lyrically, in my opinion, He picked great features on here, got Jay-Z on there, got Common on here, Paul Wall's on here on Drive Slow. Like, I feel like Brandy's on here, for people who listen to Brandy. I think this is his best project personally, but definitely my favorite. I can listen to this album any day of the week. It's hard nowadays because Kanye keep talking and saying some crazy shit, but dope ass album, dope ass production, just a great ass project. Great ass project. Next album is an album Kanye's all over too when it comes to production, and that's Jay-Z's Blueprint. To me, this is his most important album. I don't think that this is better than Reasonable Doubt, which is not on my list. Reasonable Doubt is not on my list. but I think this is his most important, and this is also my favorite from him. You can always come back and listen to this. This one got the hits all over it. Production is amazing. Takeover is on here, which I think is better than Ether. I said that. But Blueprint to me is Jay-Z's most important album. This really put him there, put him up there for sure, for sure. But I remember when this album dropped because it dropped on 9/11. You can fact check me, but I'm sure it did because I remember that being a big thing. And this album is great, though. It's a great album. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z is one of the best. To me, he's the best rapper of all time. And definitely was in his bag with this one. This one has hella singles on here. There's so many, like, it's like all the songs on here I think could have been a single and could have been a hit on the radio. That's how good this album is. So Blueprint is the number 5 on the list. Actually, I'm gonna just stop. I'm just gonna say the albums and stop doing the numbers and shit. The next album we got Sound of Revenge by my boy Koopa Chamillionaire. I think Chamillionaire is an underrated rapper. Yes, he is my favorite rapper. But besides that, Sound of Revenge is a dope-ass project, you know what I'm saying? You got, of course, you got Riding Dirty for the people who know that, but you got Grown and Sexy on here. You got I'm going to show you how to get your shine on. Turn it up, the DJ playing my song. Turn It Up is on there. Grown and Sexy's on there. You also got, like, Southern Takeover with Pastor Troy and Killer Mike on there. You know, people be sleeping on Pastor Troy. And they be sleeping on Killer Mike, actually. You know what I'm saying? It got Lil Wayne on there. It got Reside Boy on there. Bun B's on there. I'm going off the top of the head. You know what I'm saying? That's how dope this album is. Dope-ass album. Dope-ass production. He got Scott Storch on there. Got all types of shit, you know. Chamillionaire is definitely in his bag. Yes, I'm biased. He's my favorite rapper. But this is a fucking dope project. Besides, take my biases out. It's a dope-ass project. I got this album on vinyl. I got it on CD. I got the chopped and screw version. It's just a dope project, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Chamillionaire. Next album, we got The Carter 2 by Lil Weezy. I think The Carter 2 is his best album. I think The Carter 3 is his most important album. But when I want to listen to Lil Wayne, when I want to get a reminder of my youth, put on that Carter 2. I remember I got this for Christmas one year. And, you know, like, I always love music. But I got this CD on Christmas one year. When the CD players, put that joint in the CD player, woo, was bumping that. I got this and I got Nelly's album one year. Sweat. But, like, The Carter 2... dope as hell. This is Lil Wayne at his best. This doesn't have, you know, like the auto-tune Lil Wayne and like the lollipops and all that. No. This is just straight bars. Hustler Music's on here. Fireman's on here. Shooter's on here. Best Rapper Alive is on here. Hit 'em Up. Hit 'em Up. I Ain't Even Wanna Hit 'em Up is on there. Dope as hell. Always gonna be on my list, you know. Even if I don't agree with Lil Wayne's politics, his stances on Black Lives Matter and all that stuff, this album is still dope. So, next album, to me, is the greatest album hip-hop wise of all time. And we're talking about Illmatic. Illmatic by Nas is Nas's best album. I know people say Nas is a terrible beat selector, but you know what he wasn't on this album? A terrible beat selector, because he got beats from P-Rock, Premier, Q-Tip, Large Professor. Like, he got the greatest of the greatest producers on this album. He is barring everybody up. Listen to New York State of Mind. Listen to New York State of Mind, and if you tell me you're not impressed by that, then I don't want to talk to you. Listen to Halftime. And if you're not impressed, I don't want to talk to you. Like, listen to Whose World Is This? And if you're not impressed and you're not recognizing the talent that Nas has, then I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can recognize that Illmatic is a classic. Like, Illmatic is in everybody's vocabulary. I'm like, man, that's ill. That's Illmatic. Like, that's dope. If somebody says something is Illmatic, they're saying that shit is dope or great. Because Nas' Illmatic is that great. period. Next album I got is K Dot. Next album on the list is K Dot, Section 80. Kendrick Lamar, Section 80. I think that Section 80 does not get the spins. I don't think people talk about it enough. This album is so fire. You had Kendrick talking about poverty, talking about ethnicities and racism and all type of that stuff. He got High Power on here. High Power is my favorite Kendrick Lamar song. J. Cole produced it, but like he starts that shit off so tough. So tough. He said, visions of Martin Luther staring at me. Like, visions of Martin Luther staring at me is what he starts the damn song off with. So you already know. It's like, oh, shit. And then he says, you know what? Let me not say the lyric. I don't know if I can say that without getting copyright. So let me stop before I start reciting the song. You know, but listen to the first fucking line of that song. It's fucking like, whoo, whoo. You know he about to be talking about some shit. But High Power, Section 80 is dope. It got ADHD. It got Ronald Reagan era, No Makeup. It's dope. Rigor Mortis. Rigor Mortis. He bodied that shit. Like, this album is fire. I'm getting myself excited. Like, I love that album. Section 80, Kendrick Lamar. Definitely fire album. Next album, we got 2014 Forest Hill Drive by Cold World, No Blanket. J. Cole, this album is fire. No features. He don't need no features. J. Cole don't need it. You know what I'm saying? I listen to this album a lot. It's one of the most played albums in my rotation. I listen to Fire Squad and Tell Two Cities and Love Yours, really. Probably they're all on my shower playlist. Like he got 3 songs from this album on my shower playlist. That's only like 40 songs. That's how dope this album is. Out of all the artists I got, he got 3 songs from this album on one playlist. And I got them songs on multiple playlists, but besides what's on my playlist, cause y'all probably don't give a fuck. This album is dope as hell, you know what I'm saying? J. Cole, to me, I was like, man, I was telling people how dope he was, you know, like he's dope. But I was waiting on that one album that I can be like and play for people, you know, because J. Cole got songs that are like, you're not playing at no party. So I was like, man, I need this one album so I can show the world how great this man is. Like, this dude be in his bag, you know, and this was that album. I was like, whoo, whoo. I can always play this album for people who be like, oh, he makes boring music and blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, oh, bet, play. Play and listen. Just listen. So J. Cole's definitely 2014 Forest Hill Drive is a classic album. Definitely on my list as my favorite 25 albums. Next album, we got to go with Big KRIT, Catalactica. This album, I like the approach that Big KRIT went with. It was like him he created this fictional world and was telling like the story of that. It was dope, you know. With Big KRIT, you know, you're gonna get him talking about cars. You know, he gonna be talking about subs, like them banging ass beats. You know, you're gonna get the soulful southern rap. You know, you're gonna get that country shit. And you know, you're gonna get some thought provoking stuff from Big KRIT. And you got that with this album. I feel like, you know what? I'm gonna say it. Def Jam definitely dropped the ball on this album. It did not get pushed like I thought it should have got pushed. You know, I shouldn't have had to like go on hip hop websites to find out that this album was released. Like Def Jam, I didn't hear anything from them about this album. That's why I'm glad he's not with them anymore. But I feel like this album did not get the great push that it deserved, because this should have been a number 1 album, diamond type of album. But I feel like they didn't push Big KRIT at all the right way. But that's not what y'all here for. Y'all not here for me to be ranting about that. Catalactica is a dope ass album, and y'all should give it a listen. Next album, we got Game's documentary. Woo! Game was, he put the West Coast, you know, people was sleeping on the West Coast. We ain't never been gone. we ain't never been gone. Let's not get twisted. But like people were sleeping on West Coast rap. I'm not gonna lie. They were sleeping on it. And Game dropped this album. Jesus. I was so happy. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he got the big ass songs with 50 Cent on here. But if you take them songs away, this is still a classic album. Got Dr. Dre production. You know what I'm saying? Got Eminem on there. But it got 50 Cent on there. I think Busta's on there. You know, Game is a lyrical dude, you know. People get so focused on, like, when he be throwing shots at people like that. But it's all competition, you know what I'm saying? But people get mad and they, like, overlook that he makes great-ass albums. And this is a great-ass album. This is that masterpiece, you know what I'm saying? Documentary. Dope as hell. His second album is good, too. Not on the list. Not on my list. But his second album is dope as hell, too. And he ain't had no help from nobody. No Dr. Dre, no 50, none of that. And he still was on top of that shit. So, stop sleeping on the boy from Compton. The next album is Pharcyde, Bizarre Ride to the Far Side. Now, Pharcyde, to me, don't get their credit. I don't know why they don't get their credit. You know, I've heard Pharcyde my whole life. I am from Southern California, you know, so that might be a reason. But I don't know why Pharcyde don't get like mentioned in these group conversations. When people mention like top 20 or top 10 hip hop groups of all time, nobody talks about Pharcyde. Like they weren't that group. You know what I'm saying? Like they got Passing Me By, which is one of the greatest hip hop songs of all time on this album. And like I think Drop is on this album. Drop. Like this is a dope ass album. You know, I've heard this album so much, and I like this album so much that I have a burnt copy of this album, right? Yeah, I probably shouldn't say that, but I have a burnt copy of this album, and I bought the album. I bought the album that I'm never going to open because I like this album so much, and I felt that I wasn't doing justice by them. So that's how dope they are. That's how dope this album is. Album cover is dope as fuck too. But Pharcyde, Bizarre Ride to the Far Side is a dope album. Pharcyde don't get their respect in these streets. Y'all need to put some respect on their name. Shout out to Birdman. Next album we got is Ludacris, Word of Mouth. At one point, I listened to Ludacris so much. Like, Ludacris don't get his credit. He's one of the most underrated artists of all time, especially rappers. People act like Ludacris wasn't barring people up. Ask T.I. because he barred the hell out of T.I. Please stay off the T.I.P. on my dick. Like, he bodied him. But that wasn't his song either. But Word of Mouth is dope as hell. From top to bottom. It got that freestyle with 4 Eyes. Like, see, I live life filled with chicken and malt liquor. I gotta stop. I don't want to get copyright. I don't know how copyright works, so I'm just not gonna be saying lyrics. I'm trying not to. But that album is so dope. You know, Word of Mouth. Ludacris is always gonna give you like the witty punchline. He's always like, I remember his videos at this time. Like, this album is fucking dope. You know, everybody should have this in their collection. If you collect CDs or vinyls, cassettes, whatever, you should have Word of Mouth in it. I think it's that good of an album. The next album we got is All Eyes on Me by Tupac. This is a double disc. I don't have this on CD, but I do have it on vinyl for people who are trying to find me a gift. This album is dope as hell. This is his Death Row album. I think he passed away after. But this album is dope as hell. I felt like Tupac had good albums before then, but this is that album that was like, I'm a superstar, I arrive, hear me, hear ye, Tupac is here. But like, Tupac always had great songs, but this album is just that classic, you know what I'm saying? Like, Tupac's the only person who can be from a different culture. I guess Corrupt too. But Corrupt's not as big as Tupac. He's the only person that like can be from a different place and still be talked about like he's great, like he's from the West Coast, like he's a great West Coast artist, but like he's from the East Coast, like he's universal, he's that dope. So All Eyes on Me, classic album, Double. It don't even be feeling like you're listening to a lot of songs because it flows so perfectly, like so perfectly. Classic. You know what I'm saying? All right, next album we got Sylvan LaCue. Apologies in advance. Sylvan used to go by Quest, so for people who know him as Quest, Apology in Advance is an album that I needed at a certain point in my life. It had him talking about topics that most young 20-year-olds, young or mid 20-year-olds, just 20-year-olds and young adults are going through in general. Had him talking about selfish, empathy, product of your environment, or his case, product of my environment. All the stuff I was feeling at that point, it had like little skits in between. It was basically like it's like a concept album. It's dope as hell. How he like have like it's like you're in an AA meeting and like people are talking about their problems and stuff like that, and it's going with the songs. It's dope as hell. I know this album didn't get the push that it deserved, you know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't on no major label or anything like that. But Apology in Advance, it's dope as hell. I just ordered this album on vinyl, so I'm actually pretty happy about that. Dope ass album though. Dope ass album. I recommend everybody get that one to listen. Apology in Advance. If you're going through anything, this album definitely has the songs for that. So give that a spin. Next album, Saba, Bucket List Project. Now, I think Care For Me is a better album. I like this project so much more, though. West Side Bound, 3 on there. Church is on there. It's dope. It got No Name on there. It got Joseph Chillums on there. Twista's on there. Dope ass features, but like it's a concept album. I like concept albums. If y'all haven't got through by the list that I'm going through, you'll find out by a couple more albums on this list. But dope as hell. It had people like saying what's literally on their bucket list and like the skits and stuff like that, and the songs went with it. Dope as hell. Saba's a dope ass MC. Shout out to Jaquil for putting me on the Saba. And he put me on the McJenkins too. But shout out to you. Yeah. Next album we got is another Kendrick Lamar album. It's the Pimp Butterfly. This album saw Kendrick talking about classism, racism, gang violence, family, literally like everything. He was talking on everything, talking about hood politics, all type of stuff on this album. He's talking about how it impacted him. Another concept album. Dope as hell. This album was definitely needed for the time that it came out. I think he won a Grammy for this album. But it's a dope ass album. Definitely not an album you can listen to every day because of its heavy topics. But we gonna be alright. You know what I'm saying? We gonna be alright. But hope y'all caught that. But dope ass album. To Pimp a Butterfly is definitely an album that tackles some tough issues, and it didn't do it in a way that seemed too preachy like some albums would do, but it's a dope ass album. If you haven't listened to the Pimp a Butterfly, I definitely recommend you listen to it. There's some people who think Kendrick's overrated or whatever. Listen to the Pimp a Butterfly and tell me what you think after. Next album we got is Get Rich or Die Trying by 50 Cent. Now, when this album came out, there was nobody, and I mean nobody, on top of the game like 50 Cent. Not Jay-Z, not Nas, not Lil Wayne, not Ludacris, not Nelly, not Ja Rule. Name a rapper, he was the biggest, not Eminem. He was the biggest rapper. When this album came out, 50 Cent was the biggest rapper. Like, from the intro with the little, like, the quarters dropping, and then it going into the next song. I think it's like, What Up, Blood? What was that song? Gangsta? That song, What Up, Gangsta? I think is the name of it. I think that's the second song on the album. As a matter of fact, let me go look. I have the album. Yeah, it is What Up, Gangsta. What Up, Gangsta? That's the second song. I knew it. I just wanted to confirm with myself. But like when that comes on right after, it just goes straight into that gangster shit. You know what I'm saying? 50 Cent had me like a little ass kid in middle school thinking I'm a thug. You know what I'm saying? He had me saying, "I put your mama in the casket, bastard," like some shit like that. Like he had me saying stuff I shouldn't have been saying at that. I didn't even know what that meant. Like, like what? What's he saying? I was saying it though. You know what I'm saying? Like. Like, it's a dope-ass album. In the Club was probably the biggest song in that goddamn era. Like, people still be like, "Go shawty, it's your birthday." Yeah, that's from Get Rich or Die Trying. Dope-ass album, you know what I'm saying? I had never heard of him from that point either. Like, I didn't know who 50 Cent was, but when that album dropped, the whole world changed. The whole hip-hop changed. Everybody knew who the fuck 50 Cent was. And if Get Rich or Die Trying ain't on your list, man, you got some explaining to do to me, in my opinion. But whatever. Next album we got Aquemini by Outkast. Now, this is the album that made me say Andre 3000 is a top 5 MC, top 3 in my opinion. But this is the album that made me go, oh, he's definitely that. He's the guy. He's the guy that everybody's going to be going with. But Aquemini is a dope ass project. Andre definitely be spitting, you know. Outkast, they can do no wrong. They can do no wrong. But like, I think the song on there is Aquemini. Like the way that Andre 3000, his verse, like the way he's spitting on that song, like he's spitting, not rapping. He's spitting bars. Like he is killing it. Like I was like, oh god. Like, he's dope. He's dope as hell. Andre 3000 is dope as hell, you know. So, Aquemini is definitely one that I listen to. Definitely something I gotta give a listen to. The next album we got is Madvillain. R.I.P. to MF Doom. This is a dope ass album with the production from Madlib. You know, Madlib's production, you already know. Then MF Doom rhymes. That's like a match made in heaven, you know what I'm saying? All caps, you know, all caps. Like, come on. All caps is dope as hell. I think Fancy Clown's on there. You know, it goes perfect. Like, the lyrics and then the skits that they have. Like, I think it's cool. I was debating between this one and, I'll say that. I'll tell you which album I was debating with. Because, the DLC, No One Can Do It Better. I don't have that one on my list. That was number 26. But I was debating between this and that album. Dope ass album, both of them. But I listened to this one more, so that's the reason why this one got the head over that one. Next album, Minstrel Show, Lil Brother, Ninth Wonder, Pooh, Fonte. What more needs to be said? Album I heard later in my life. I was like almost 18, about to start college. Back when I really started forming some opinions that some people don't agree with. Like, you know, or voicing my opinions that people don't agree with. Because I've always had them. But, dope ass album. I would say this to the day that I die. Fonte is Drake before Drake. Put some respect on his name. Ninth Wonder is one of the best producers of all time. Pooh is a dope-ass rapper. You put that in a group, and then you have them talking about some subject that matters, oh, you know you got you a classic. You know what I'm saying? Lil Brother is dope as hell. They are definitely in my top 10 groups of all time. I just released a video a couple weeks ago about that. Y'all should give it a listen. About my top 10 hip-hop groups, but Minstrel Show is a dope-ass album. Lil Brother's a dope-ass group. It just, for me, it sucks that I found them later in my life. I wish I knew about them when I was a kid. But, dope-ass album. Next album, we got Black on Both Sides by the mighty Mos Def. Mos Def, or, I know he changed his name, but he was Mos Def when this album came out. So, Black on Both Sides is just dope as hell. Umi Says is on there. Mathematics is on there. Miss Fat Booty is on there. Like, it's dope. Dope as hell. You know, like the Mighty Mos Def is dope as hell. I remember seeing him live. You know, he came a little bit late, but whatever. But like this dude, like the energy that the crowd had and everything like that. Like hearing him perform this album, I've had way more respect. And I ain't gonna lie, that impacted how I listened to this album and my respect for the album. Hearing him perform this album live changed my whole opinion on that. Like, Mos Def's Black on Both Sides is a dope-ass album. Mos Def is a dope-ass MC. I can listen to this album any day of the week. Mathematics is dope as hell. I don't know who produced that. I think it's Premier. Dope. Like, Mos Def, you know, you know what he is? He's one of the best beat selectors out there. He picks some great beats, you know what I'm saying? Like, he has a great ear. I definitely had to have that on my list. Next album we got is Ab-Soul's Control System. I don't know if a lot of people have heard this album. If you my friend or know me, you definitely heard this album. At least I would think. Control System is dope as hell. Like, track 2 is dope. Empathy's on there. It definitely got that one song on there when he's talking about his girlfriend that committed suicide, which is definitely a hard song to listen to. But I'm sorry to bring the mood down. But the project is dope as hell. Black Lip Bastard, Druggies with Hoes Again. I don't think that's on there actually. But this is a dope ass project, you know. TDE, they don't be missing, you know what I'm saying? Control System, dope as hell. Also waiting on Ab-Soul's album. Hopefully we get that this year. But yeah, the last album on my list is Lupe Fiasco's The Cool. One of my favorite albums in general. This is one of my favorite albums in general. Lupe, you know, he be going over some people's head. They say he's too lyrical and all that. But The Cool is his masterpiece. This is a top 10 hip hop album for me. He followed up Food and Liquor with this. And I'm like, man, this dude did not miss. You know what I'm saying? Like, The Cool is one of the best albums. You know, I also own this album. I think I own every album I have on this list except Ab-Soul's Control System, to be honest. And apologies in advance. But The Cool is a dope-ass album. Tell me what y'all think of my list. I'm going to put the list up so you can see what I have on my list. I'm open for debate, but you can't tell me my list ain't fire because I know my list is fire. This has been your boy Jamal Radio Raheem Harris. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Don't forget, we got the Radio Raheem tape that comes out every Saturday. It's on Apple Music now. It's on Spotify. It's on Amazon Music. It's on SoundCloud. We're not yet on Tidal. I just don't know too many people with titles, so that's the only reason why I'm not on there, to be honest. But it is dope. The playlist is dope. Give it a listen. We have On the Record that be coming out when I go to record stores. If y'all want anybody who wants to be on there, let me know. You know what I'm saying? I love having conversations with people who collect music. I love having conversations with musicians in general. Harris Show podcast comes out every Monday with my sister Angie Ang. So y'all can find that on Spotify and on YouTube. So yeah, this has been your boy Jamal Radio Raheem Harris. Until next time, peace. Stay safe in these COVID streets.